So our next step is read the data. So here only we have to write here, not in outside of the loop, inside only. Every page, right? We want every page. So if page is clicked, then you get the data, that page data. Now you fetch all the TDs, right? So that page, particular page, TDs means these columns. So TDs, so T body TDs, this data we want each one. So that we are fetching. Just give TD, automatically you will get all of them. Fetch all TDs. List web element TDs list equal to. So okay, so we removed the rows we moved, so we want this one there also, the above. So let's take that. From this rows list only you have to get all the rows list dot. You need to get all the, so one by one you need to get off. So so we got this already. Yeah, instead of that I can put it here inside this loop only. There no use. So let's paste it here. Okay. So you got the rows list, and from there each row you trade this rows list. Okay, so we got already this is the TD list, right? So the TD list will go inside the row, so you have to iterate for this first, this row. So int I equal to 0, I less than rows list dot size and I plus plus. So after this, so you get all the TDs, this one. So here each row, I am getting each row, that is the index number. From that row find elements. So you find all the elements by dot tag name TD tag. All the TD tags I am getting. So that is all the TD tags we are getting. Then for so int j equal to 0. So j less than TD's list dot size and j plus plus. So you get a cell text, each cell text you get it, and that cell text is important for us. TD's list dot, so get of j dot get text. So you get the each cell text. Then you can print that each cell text. So reporter dot log, so row plus I plus 1, okay. Columns j plus 1. So that means row and column. I'm giving column, then that text I want to print. So what text you want to print? That cell text. That's the whole no, how to handle paginations. So let's run this test case and see. So jQuery is not the one. Remove that. Now execute this test case. See that all the checkbox one by one page, all the pages it is going and navigating one by one. So this logic you can use anywhere. So in your test case, in your automation, this is the same logic you will apply for all the pagination wherever you have a pagination scenarios. The code is, once you understand, the same code will be repeated. So that is the this pagination thing. Any questions? One more last topic, Shadowroot elements, right? So what is this Shadowroot elements? Basically, if you go to our Google or even in this website also, you have Shadowroots. Yeah. So you want to type here directly, you cannot type. So it input type, but this one is under shadow. See, Shadowroot. Open. Right? So if shadow elements are there, the handling is different. So it is going to be different. So that I'll show you how to handle if there is a shadow elements. So Selenium provides a method, get shadow root method, which will give the shadow root element, and then you have to execute script method also you have to use. So always CSS selector and execute script method. So these two methods will help you to handle these shadow root elements. So see shadow root open. So from this you have to drill down and first you need to handle this shadow root element. Then you can identify this element and you can type something or any of these elements. If you want to interact, you can interact without handling shadow root. First you have to create the web element, then you will get the shadow root context, search context you will get. From that search context you can identify your own element, whichever element in under that shadow root. So that, but I will give you a complex scenario. This is only one, right? You can practice this, but I will give you a very complex no shadow root. Many shadow root options are there, that I will give you, so that it will be easy for you. So simple, your Google Chrome itself you can use for these shadow roots. So let me move this to right hand side so that it will be easy for you to watch. So see, I'll move to right side this so that I'll show you clearly. So your Chrome dot download is there, right? Just give download. Chrome colon slash downloads, right? It's downloads. Yeah. So I want to type here something in this edit box. That's my objective. But this is inside the Shadowroot elements. So Shadowroot elements, if you want to handle, see that. See how it started. Shadowroot elements, where it started. Oh, see that HTML head body after the Shadowroot elements started. So you have to drill down from here to see this node is downwards. That means you have to start from here. So this is the one shadow root, another shadow root, another shadow root, another shadow root, and then one more shadow root. So this one. Under that you have this web element, this web element. So that means 4 shadow root elements you have to handle. 4. First you find the root web element. From that root you get the shadow root element, shadow root to search context, and then using that you go to the next one. So this is the root. This is the root 1. Then this is the root 2, root 3, root 4. Like that you have to identify all the roots. For every root, one web element, one search context object reference will come. But there is a method it is providing. Once you find the root dot, if you give the method get shadow root method, that will return the search context object. So these are the main things you are going to use it. So a similar approach will apply. You understand, right? You will get like this shadow root. So to handle these shadow roots, you have to use first identify the root web element. Then using that root web element, you get the shadow root, and using that shadow root context, and you can identify next shadow root 2, and then shadow root element you can find out from the first shadow root, and from that shadow root you will get a second root 2, second root. From second root you get the shadow root 2 search context object. Like that there will be 2. One is first web element, then search context object for every shadow root. So total 8 lines of code you have to write to reach this point. Then your element, you have to identify your element. Which element under this shadow root you are identifying. That element normal, you identify driver dot find element, by dot locator value dot, whatever the action based on the element type. You can perform the action. Okay. So this is the overall picture. So let me write shadow root demo. So I'll take this copy and we can reuse. I can just copy this, paste it. Shadow root test. Okay. Yeah. So this is all common, but only change here. So what is that? This is the URL you have to provide. So here you don't download, right? Just download history. If you want that, you can handle that also. Okay. Now first test Shadowroot. Shadowroot test. Okay. So find the shadow first. Find the Shadowroot element. So find the Shadowroot one element. So we have to identify Shadowroot element. Web element root one. What is the root one? So this is the root one. This is the root one. So you can just give this. So driver dot find element by dot css selector or tag name, right? That is a tag name. It's a tag name. Just give that tag. Okay. First I identified the root one. So now from this root one, you have to identify the shadow root one. So identify shadow root one. So that will return a search context. Search context shadow root one equal to root one dot get shadow root method is there. Selenium is providing that. So we are going to use that. Again, using this shadow root one, you identify the second one. So this second one, this one. So you have a so next you have ID, or you can use a download toolbar tag name also. You can use or so whatever you want, right? So I'll use this downloads toolbar. Okay. Again, what every shadow root two. So root element and shadow root. So I'm going to identify a similar way. So web element root 2 element, and you have to use shadow root 1 dot find element. So previous one you have to use shadow root 1, okay, dot find element by dot css selector. That is the one. Next, so search context, this one. You identify and just change the shadow root 2, and this so this root 2. From this root 2 you are getting the shadow root 2. So I'll remove all this code, so we don't need. Even this also you don't need, so that it will be clear. Okay. Now similar way, so keep going till all of them. Keep going till all of them, till 4. So now this will become shadow root 3, and this shadow root 2 you are going to use, but that locator you have to use. Third one. So what is the third one? So what is the third one? First, second, third one. Third one you have CR toolbar. You can use that CR toolbar. This is the third one, right? CR toolbar. So using this root 3, you find out the shadow root 3. Using shadow root 3, you identify the next shadow root 4 you identify. So then see what is the fourth one. 1, 2, 3 is done. This one. So CR toolbar search field. CR toolbar search field. So root 4, and this is the shadow root 4. Okay, so that is all about this. Now using this you identify your element. Okay, so what is that element? This is edit box, right? This edit box, see, which is under fourth this one. So you have a search input, so there you type it the whatever you want. So I can give book 2. I'll give book2.pdf, right? I'll type book2.pdf. So type the value in search edit box. If you don't do all this, it won't type. So driver dot find element, not driver, right? You have to use shadow root 4. Shadow root 4. I'll use first to let it by dot id. I use shadow root 4. You have to use dot send keys book 2. Book 2. Yeah, just it is typing or not, we have to see. If you don't handle, it won't type. That's what I want to convey to you. So this is how you can handle shadow root elements. Thread dot sleep 2000 milliseconds. Okay, so that's all about how to handle shadow root elements. So let's run this. See, it got typed perfectly. Okay, so with this all are done. So one thing is pending. Tomorrow we'll see that file upload. So I'll show you file upload tomorrow, and then we can so start the framework. So framework is pending. So did we do double click? Let me do one double click. Double click method we haven't used, right? Let me use that also. That will finish that today, and tomorrow you don't need to worry about that. I'll just take one example from here. I'll put this in the actions class only, because the double click is belongs to, so that's all actions class methods, so many methods, right? You will get so many methods. Yeah. So double click operation here also we are doing double click operation. So let me show you that. Here only we have. Can you see here field 1, field 2. So I have to copy field 1 value and paste it here in the field 2 value. So that's a, so for that you have to double click on that. Just double click, automatically this will copy and paste it here. You don't need to copy paste here. You can do that also, but directly so you will get automatically. For example, you just click on this button double twice, automatically value will place there. Okay, so that's a double click operation so we are doing here. So just see that we are launching the, so this one, and maybe you can try here itself, right? Oh, this is different, right? This is different. Okay, we can keep it, not a problem. And then I created actions class object. See, copy text button I am identifying. So this is the one, copy text button. I identified that. See, there is a button tag, copy text. So you can give, so input tag, button tag, right? Button tag, and so namespace copy text you can give, or contains text, or text function. Any one of them you can use to identify this element. So you identify that element. That's what we did. Identified with a button normalize space copy text. So then act dot, so these are actions object reference dot, double click on this copy text button dot perform. So performing the double click operation. So once you perform the double click operation, so you get the field 1 value and field 2 value. So here field 1 value, how can you get this? So input type id field 1. See, there is a value hello world. So id field 1. So that field 1 value you need to get it. So the field 1 value, how can you get the field 1 value, typed value? So I think I have given, right, that in one of the test cases how to get the typed values. Okay, fine. So you have to use get attribute of value attribute. So whatever the value typed there, any edit box, so you will get that value using get attribute of value. So that will fetch the field 1 value and field 2 value. Then you can assert it, field 1 value and field 2 value should be same because you just copied. So that's why. So let's go and run this test case. Only this I will run so that we can save the time. See, it is double click and copy paste. Yeah, so that's all about the test cases, and tomorrow only pending file upload thing, and we can see that file upload thing tomorrow, and then we can start the framework. So with this, by tomorrow Selenium will be completed. It's on your shoulder now to practice more programs, writing more programs, all in your hand only.